What is love? I think I've been asking myself that for a long time. We are all aware of the love from a parent and from a romantic partner. As I've grown, I reflected on what love means to me. When I was younger, my mother provided for me with food, shelter, and education. I've only known her love, and not that of a father's. The memories I have of him are mostly blurry and full of anger. I've seen the best and worst of my family, and I think that's the part that I love, that we aren't perfect. My mother never mentioned anything about relationships or how I should pick them. I've only seen how my mom dealt with the aftermath of divorcing my father. From what I can remember is him being drunk and bottles being thrown my way. I can still hear the faint clangs and smashes, but after the divorce, he would try to buy my love. I would get everything I wanted when I was younger, but it was only to keep me happy and to see him in a better light. I can remember the shopping carts at Walmart being full of toys and games. I think that taught me that love is a transaction. Someone will always want something from me, and I'll have to repay them somehow. I wish I knew more about him, but a part of me is content where I am in life. I feel like if I knew him now, I wouldn't be happy. Regardless, I'd only know a stranger. Why should I love someone who didn't want me? Why does he get to move on and I'm left with the scars of what he did to me and my mother? As time went by, I began to understand that I was developing feelings for the opposite gender. Having a crush is such a weird feeling. It's like an intense palpitation in your heart, and you just can't speak properly because the girl is near you, and you can hear your heartbeat causing your face to go hot. I would tell my mother that I liked the girl, and the bombardment of questions would follow.
What's she like? Is she Mexican? What's her family name?
I would get overwhelmed and shut off, regardless of the name or details I gave her. She would know who it was immediately. Valentine's Day would be like a test of courage for me. I wanted to impress the person I liked. I wouldn't make a card. I would make a statement. I would come in with a teddy bear, the biggest bouquet, and some candy. Gifts wrapped so well a professional would be jealous.
Hey, this is for you. I wanted to see if you'd be my girlfriend.
You like me? I just thought we were friends. Wait, were you being for real?
They would giggle, take the gifts, and not give a clear answer. Then a few weeks later, they would be hanging around with another kid. I was never an option. I was scared of the feeling I would get. I was scared of rejection. Love is a transaction, right? I would give you stuff so you could like me. High school romance was a different challenge. I was more aware of my actions and feelings. At this time, I remember watching an anime called The World God Only Knows. It was about a high schooler named Keima Katsuragi, who was known to be very good at dating sims. Then a god acknowledges him because he needed him to romance lost souls, to send them back to the afterlife, and the mix were goddesses, who were known to be tougher to romance. I think I got sucked into the series because it was a taste of the romantic comedy genre that I was unfamiliar with. As I watched more, I got ideas from it of how to go about talking to girls and making them like you. I would treat interactions like scenarios in a dating sim. I think it helped me talk to girls more carefully and choose my words more carefully.
Just go away! Don't bother with me anymore, alright?
I would talk to various different girls, none of them serious, but as we age, a feeling of lust is presented. Sometimes I would wonder if I was feeling love or lust when talking to someone. I think it also made me more confident. It wouldn't be until I was 17 and met a girl, we dated, and I was fully in love. I started to understand my feelings more. I knew what it meant to fall in love and fully devote yourself to someone. We did everything together, and it felt like a dream every time, but maybe I devoted too much time. My grades began to slip, and my hobbies began to feel like chores. I wasn't happy unless I was with her. But who knew it would come crashing down a year in? I was cheated on. I don't think I felt that low in my life. I was angry and spiteful. Why me? I felt like I did everything for them and gave them my first everything. Was I just being used? When I found out, it felt like I was being punched so hard I could vomit my insides. I just remember blowing up her phone asking,
Why me?
I made a decision that, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have made. I took her back. I think I just couldn't let go. I relied on this person for happiness. We spent so many happy memories together. Little did I know it would get a lot worse after a few months of being together. I lost friends and people close to me. I was stuck with them as my only support. Then the hitting began, and the emotional manipulation. I was at my lowest point. Later on when we broke up, it didn't feel like freedom. I was stuck with an image in memory. I was in love with a ghost. I think at this point I decided to focus on myself and not get tied up with any women. It was a long and hard journey to accept being alone. At this point I started to learn the difference between self-love and being selfish. If I was interested in another girl, I would be upfront. I was looking for a short-term fling and fell into my lustful desires. I treated each one like nothing because I felt like I couldn't love anyone but myself. I would get what I wanted and leave. This was destroying my morals. At one point, I stared into the mirror and realized I lost myself. I realized something needed to change, and I started an anime called Toradora. The story is about a couple, Ryuji and Taiga. They initially start off as enemies, then become friends, and finally lovers. Taiga initially liked Kitamura, and Ryuji would help her get with him, while she would help Ryuji get with her friend, Minori. It was a funny slice of life romantic comedy. I think the switch happened when it got a bit serious, when we learned most of the characters are hiding behind masks. I think I resonated with that part because I couldn't recognize the person I'd become. By the end of the story, Taiga realized that she loved Ryuji. The Christmas arc was probably the best arc in the anime. The raw and honest emotions were tear-jerking. At that moment, I realized I wanted something like that. Something real.
Please don't be nice to me anymore. I'm an idiot, alright? If you're nice to me, I'll get the wrong idea.
I think there was a part of my life where I didn't recognize who I was, didn't know what I wanted. I became the worst version, the one who didn't care about others' feelings. After breaking things off from many of the relationships, or I guess in modern terms, situationships, I felt at peace, and deleted all the dating apps and just focused on me. I took a break, got back into the gym, and rewatched and relearned my likes. I think I discovered my love of manga again, my love of story-based games, and my love of being content with myself. You have to love yourself before being able to love someone else, because you can't rely on them always. A relationship isn't 50-50, it's 100-100. I think you should give it your all, but there will be days where you don't feel at 100, and that's okay, as long as you know to communicate rather than close yourself off, which I'm guilty of doing myself. I'm thankful for what I went through and learned. Have you ever watched Pilgrim vs. the World? I think I've always liked this movie ever since my friend Josh told me about it, but I didn't think I would relate to it as much as I did. When reading the comics and feeling such relatability, I understand that not everyone agrees with Scott's actions and decisions, but I think it taught me what I didn't see in myself, that I'm not perfect. I struggle with that idea. How could I be accepted if I wasn't perfect? I was deluding and scaring myself with the idea of change. As a young man, the character of Ramona Flowers felt like the ideal woman, a manic pixie dream girl per se, but that story also taught me that I should chase something real and not just a fantasy. As years go on, you find yourself chilling and doing your own thing. And then you meet a girl. Your old ways flash before your eyes like Norman Osborn looking at the Green Goblin mask. I ignored it, so I decided to take my chance. I asked her out, and well, here's how things went. Have you ever met someone who accepted you for who you are? I don't think I had, but this time was different. I actually wanted to get to know them. I felt like my heart would burst. I could feel the thumps again, and my mind went blank. I stopped thinking too much. They take you, pull you off to another adventure. Every time they looked at me with loving eyes, it was like a shot of espresso, burst of energy. I could feel myself breathing. I started to fantasize about a future with them, growing old and living that happily ever after. You start to explore new ideas, new concepts, new interests, and you find yourself drinking a Dr. Pepper, and actually liking the taste of it. You think of them constantly, you communicate. You are an active factor in their life, and they remember things about you, and see the real you. I think that's what love feels like. When I watched the Chainsaw Man movie, those romance scenes with Reze felt like that feeling. I felt like I was watching my memories play out. As I turned to my girlfriend, I saw the wonder in her eyes. Then I realized I was happy where I was currently. I think back to what I went through and realized that if I didn't go through that, then I wouldn't be where I am now. Love is a beautiful thing. It's complex, it's what fuels us, it's what motivates us. I am in love. when it comes time to take the next step, I think I'm ready.